Okay, toy fans, this is your boy RhythmShift coming back at you with another toy review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Heavy Artillery Roadblock figure. I just got this figure, it's a new release. I just got my order in from Hasbro Pulse. And this is the version 1 of the classic A Real American Hero G.I. Joe Roadblock figure. As you can see at the back of the packaging, it's like all the other figures, you've got that great artwork there, all the characters that have been released so far. This figure is number 28 in the line, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the third Roadblock figure we've had in the G.I. Joe Classified line, which is, no, this is the fourth actually. This is the fourth, because you had the V1 Roadblock, then you had the V1 Redeco colour with a slightly darker colour scheme, and you also had the Cobra Island Roadblock with the beard. So this is the fourth Roadblock figure we've got, and that's not too great. I mean, G.I. Joe has such a wide cast of characters, and I think this is a figure that, yeah, a lot of collectors did want this more classic look to Roadblock, but you know, there's other great characters that a lot of fans are waiting for, such as for example, Shipwreck, Quick Kick, Wild Bill, who have we got? Bazooka, Alpine, you know, there's Daltone, Mainframe, you know, there's a lot of great General Hawk, you know, there's a lot of great other characters that haven't been given a figure yet, but we've got 4 versions of Roadblock, and I don't know how many versions of Snake Eyes have we had. We've had the SDCC exclusive Snake Eyes, then the Redeco Snake Eyes, then we had the Arctic Commander Snake Eyes, which is based on the V1 Snake Eyes. So you know what I mean, Hasbro have been kind of making some strange choices in terms of diversifying the line by bringing out so many versions of the same characters so soon. But you know, it is what it is, and we have to deal with it. So we're going to crack this open and take a look. But before I do, I'd like to say the artwork for this figure, as you can see here, that profile shot is brilliant. I think this head much more resembles the Roadblock that I remember from my childhood, because Roadblock is a figure I did have, but I actually had the V2 Roadblock, and the G.I. Joe cartoon was kind of difficult to get over here where I'm at in the UK. It was called Action Force over here, so we only got a few of the cartoons on direct to VHS tape, and the ones I saw from later on in the G.I. Joe animating show, for example, G.I. Joe the movie and Arise Serpentor Rise, and I always remember Roadblock having his V2 look. So this look isn't something that I have a particular nostalgia for, but I much prefer the head sculpt on this, and we're going to get into it because I'll do some comparisons to the first classified Roadblock that was released. But yeah, that's enough talking, let's get this figure open. Okay, so here we have Roadblock out of the box, and as you can see, it comes with a few accessories. Let's talk about the accessories first. First of all, he comes with this huge Gatling gun, which is pretty cool. Looks a lot better than the silly tuning fork type of weapon that the first figure came with. This has a ammo drum, but the annoying thing is that it doesn't have an ammo belt, which doesn't make any sense if you're going for sort of real world authenticity. But at the end of the day, I can't complain too much, because at least we've got some realistic looking weapons, because as a child collecting an Action Force or G.I. Joe, the weapons were really one of the coolest things about them, you know, having real military weapons and so forth. He comes with a Desert Eagle pistol, as you can see here, and he also comes with a protective helmet, which is great. And let's take a look at the figure himself. So the figure himself is pretty damn cool. I hope it's coming up on the camera here if the lighting is good. Let me just adjust that. I don't know, maybe that's a bit better. Okay. So as you can see, the figure, the head sculpt is really cool. He has this web gear that he's wearing here. This is a bit dark, let me just change that. He's got his web gear. He's got green military vest and orange trousers, which is kind of cool. I suppose these are kind of military type colours. But personally, as I said, I prefer the costume, the clothing of the V2 version Roadblock. But in terms of the actual face sculpt, this figure is much superior, I think. The face sculpt is just great. If I can... Yeah, there we go, it's a bit better. The face sculpt is great. In fact, it actually reminds me of the actor Keith David. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He was in The Thing and They Live and other films. He does the voice of Spawn. Really cool figure. From the back, you can see the web gears on the back, and he does have a hole where you can clip a backpack in through the web gear, which is pretty cool. He also has a gun holster on his right leg. Now the Desert Eagle will fit in there, but let's try the Desert Eagle in his hand. Yeah, that's a good fit. Yeah, so he does look pretty cool with the there we go. Yeah, he can hold the Desert Eagle pretty well. Now it does have a hole in the end of the barrel where you could potentially put a muzzle flash or a gun flash, but unfortunately this figure doesn't actually come with any, which is a bit silly. I mean, why make space for that if you're not going to include blast effects, you know? So I think they kind of cheaped out there. But yeah, he holds the gun well. Let's put this pistol in his holster. You can see him, you can have him drawing his sidearm like that, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now I see some reviewers had trouble putting this in the holster. Me, straight out the package, I've had no problems at all. It fits straight in with ease. But if you are having problems, it's probably best to heat this up a bit, maybe with a hairdryer or some warm water, and it should fit in pretty snugly like that. Now let's get some of these other accessories on him. Let's try the helmet. So the helmet fits on perfectly, as you can see there. That looks great. Let's get the oops. So you have the gun barrel and the heavy machine gun. You can slide that in like that, and that clips in there. Now the barrel does rotate, which is cool. Again, you've got holes in the barrel of the gun for blast effects. Don't know if it's coming through on the camera because the background's so light, but you could put blast effects in there, but there's no blast effects included. Let's put this in the gun in the figure's hand. Bear me while I do this. Now one thing I will say is that this Roadblock does actually remind me a lot of the comic book version of Roadblock, in the sense that the head sculpt does look a lot more reminiscent of the 80s G.I. Joe Real American Hero comic, which is pretty great. I mean, personally I prefer the comic to the cartoon. It's much more, the stories were much more mature and more grounded and not so sci-fi, more military type stories. But there we go. Here's Roadblock with the Gatling gun. There we go. So I think that looks pretty cool. Here, let's just rotate this guy. Yeah, so he looks pretty cool like that, I'd say. I mean, this is a pretty awesome figure. No doubt this is a pretty awesome figure, man. But I'm still not 100% convinced that that's my ideal Roadblock. What I'm thinking I might do is I might take the upper body and put the upper body on the Redeco G.I. Joe Classified Roadblock, which I have here. I'll put him in the shot too. So let's just here is stop that. Here he is alongside the Redeco version of Roadblock, which is based on the V2 Roadblock from the vintage line. So what I don't like about this Roadblock though is his head. I mean, that head just, it doesn't remind me of the the vintage toy. This heavy artillery Roadblock head is much more akin to the vintage toy. This Roadblock, to me, this looks like the rapper Stormzy. I mean, especially with this beard. Don't know if that's coming up on camera. It doesn't look like Roadblock to me. And also his gun, I've substituted another gun from another line here. This is from the Fortnite weapons pack, because the gun that he came with was just ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't even a gun, it was like a tuning fork. I don't have it to hand. Actually, I do have it to hand, bear with me. So this is the weapon that this Roadblock first release came with, and it's not, you know, this doesn't, I mean, what is this supposed to be? Is it a laser gun, a tuning fork, piano tuning fork? It just doesn't really scream military. It doesn't say G.I. Joe to me. I mean, maybe I could use this with a Cobra Trooper, some kind of a weapon that Destro's created. I mean, that could work, but Roadblock, what is this gun called? Mardeus, if I'm not mistaken. Roadblock had his iconic gun, and they kind of missed the beat with that. So I kind of equipped this one with the, as I said, from the Fortnite weapons pack, and it fits pretty well with these 6-inch action figures. It looks pretty good. So here they are side by side. And what can I say? I think I am going to do a bit of customization work here. I'm going to take the upper body of this heavy artillery Roadblock and I'm going to mix it with the regular release redeco Roadblock. I'm going to see what comes of that, but before I do that, let's get into articulation. So articulation is pretty standard for these G.I. Joe classified. It's good all round. So let's see what we got. And actually, maybe I can use this web gear for maybe someone like Firefly, perhaps. I don't know. I'll see. So let's take the helmet off. So you've got a head side to side, up and down. You've got full rotation on the arms, both arms. You've got what do you call it? A hinge joint at the shoulders, but it's a bit stiff. It's not really moving too well, but it's there. You've got upper bicep swivel, double hinged elbows, so you can get a good bend there, which is great. The wrists, you've got, what have you got? Side to side on the left hand, and you've got, again, side to side on the right hand. No up and down motion. And I know a lot of collectors like up and down motions on the gun hand so they can do more pointing poses, but you have got an ab crunch, which is pretty nice, not hindered by any protective clothing, which some of the figures have that problem. And you can go back to, so you can, whoa, what the hell was that? Something just fell off this figure, I don't know what it was. Little piece here. Let's see where that came from. I don't know, maybe it was inside, because I don't see anything having fallen off. Maybe it's a part that was inside, but yeah, no major problems so far. Interesting, I'll keep an eye out for that. Waist, side to side rotation. Upper hips straight out. You can't kick back too far, but you've got upper leg rotation, double hinged knees, upper lower leg boot cut rotation, and up and down motion on the feet. That pretty much covers the articulation. So I'm quite happy with the posability of this figure. It's going to be a shame because when I put that vest of the V2 Classic Roadblock on this version, he's going to lose the he's going to lose his mobility at the I've just, the joint's gone out of my the ab crunch. Had a bit of a memory loss there. Yeah, so he's going to lose his ab crunch articulation, but for the look I'm going for, I think it's going to work. So without further ado, I'm going to get to this part swapping, and we'll take a look at it and see how it all comes together. Okay, so I just boiled some water. Boiled some water in a kettle, put it in a bowl, and I was able to place these figures in the warm water. And I was able to remove the heads. And they've both got the same size neck peg, which is great if you want to swap the heads between them. But the thing is, after having swapped the heads out, I actually realised they actually are kind of similar. It's just that the first release Roadblock has less of a scowling face. In terms of the proportions of the face, it is quite similar, so I might actually leave them as they are, because it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Although, just to show you, this does look good on that body. You can see it there, it does look good. Now the arms, they were easy to pop out too. You can just warm them and pop them out. Warm them, pop that out. I haven't plugged them back in yet because on the heavy artillery Roadblock there was a bit of a problem. It seems that the inner shoulder socket where the butterfly joint is, I guess you call it, it didn't come apart at the lower part, so I didn't want to pull it too much and break it, so I left the arms in place. But after having swapped the heads over, I think I'm going to leave them as they are, and I'm going to have these as two different versions of Roadblock in his. I mean, even that looks pretty cool actually. Putting this head on the heavy artillery Roadblock body. See, it does look kind of cool, so I'm going to have these as just two different versions of Roadblock at two different times. So yeah, let's reconfigure these figures back as they were originally, and I'll give some final thoughts. Okay, so here we have both Roadblocks back in their original configuration, and yeah, I think I'm going to leave them like this. One's going to be an earlier Roadblock and one will be a Roadblock later on in my imagined storyline. Yeah, I'm very happy actually with this figure, although I didn't mention one thing, and that's part reuse. This figure is quite heavy on parts reuse, so the only new parts on the heavy artillery Roadblock are the head is different, the web gear is different, the vest is a new, I suppose the chest and torso is a new piece with that vest, but everything else is carried over from the first release of the classified Roadblock. So, and also the gun holster's new, and the helmet and the weapons are new. Now, I don't mind part reuse personally. I'm all for it. If it, you know, I don't mind if they use it in reuse parts in creative ways. But I do think this figure does lack a few things. For example, the ammo belt needed to feed the ammo from the barrel to the actual machine gun is missing. Now, maybe I can be creative and customize one myself, but I shouldn't have to. No, none of us should have to, man. If you're going to give us authentic weapons, yeah, this is a good start, but come on, man. There's no excuse for not having that. Also, the blast effects, come on, man. I mean, the blast effects would really make this figure really more of a it would just take it that little bit above and beyond. I mean, it's a good figure so far, but to be a great figure, if it had the blast effects and the ammo belt, those would really take this figure over the edge. But all in all, I'm very happy with it. I'm glad I got it. I mean, I'm really into G.I. Joe. That's one of the major toy lines that I was into as a child. So it's great to be getting these classified figures, but you know, there's some questionable choices. However, I will commend Hasbro in the fact that they're trying to go with a more military look and feel, which is much appreciated, because I mean, these are military army men first and foremost, so they should look like, you know, military types, not futuristic sci-fi. The sci-fi weapons just haven't been cutting it so far. But yeah, the better sculpted weapons, more realistic looking weapons, and a better head sculpt, and the more military color scheme, yeah, I'm really going to like this figure a lot. I mean, when I first got it, I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, because I never had the V1 vintage Roadblock, I only had the V2 Roadblock. But all in all, I do really like this figure a lot, and I think he will go great with my other classified figures. So let's put some other classified characters in to show how he fits in. So let's bring in, I'll take Roadblock out. So here's how he looks alongside Duke. Who else have we got? We've got Gung Ho. Gung Ho here. So he does fit in with the vibe and the feel very well. I think that's great. I'm going to bring in, I use this Black Widow from, what is it, Avengers Infinity War. I'm not really into the MCU, so this for me stands in as a cover girl. Which is there. She looks pretty cool and she fits in with this scale. Let's get some Cobras in here. How does he look alongside some Cobras? So, who have we got? Let's get Baroness. So here's the Baroness. She's standing there. Looks good with her. Let's get a Cobra Trooper. If I can reach one. Here's a Cobra Trooper. Let's rearrange these. So the Baroness can stand there. Roadblock center stage. Here he is alongside a Cobra Trooper. Let's get his feet right. So, I think he fits in just great. He stands at the right height as he should amongst these characters. So yeah, all in all, I'm very happy with this figure. Oh, and there's one more thing I forgot to mention. If you take this first release Roadblock, you can actually fit the helmet on his head too, if you want to do that. So that's pretty cool as well. It's nice to have some compatibility with parts, because I know the Hasbro have been doing some strange things in terms of neck peg size scaling, so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, this Roadblock's pretty damn cool, man. I'm really going to like this a lot. Didn't think I would. I mean, I thought, okay, yeah, just another Roadblock. But no, this really is a really cool character. There he is with his gun. And maybe I should bring in the other Roadblock, just for, I haven't mentioned it, but the Cobra Island Roadblock. Let me get that here. Where's his glasses? I don't know where his glasses are. But yeah, this to me, this is a completely different character, man. This isn't Roadblock to me. But it's a lot of people are using him as heavy duty. As you can see, I swapped his weapon out as well because he had that stupid tuning fault weapon. But yeah, this, yeah, I think he fits as another character, man. Roadblock. Yeah, I don't need 3 Roadblocks in my collection, so this will be a different character. But yeah, I think he's the weakest Roadblock out of all 3, but it's still worth having. Actually, I'm wrong. No, I'm right. I thought his vest was the same, but it's a different part. Yeah. But yeah, all in all, heavy duty Roadblock. I say, if you're into G.I. Joe Classified, this is a worthy addition to your collection. It was an Amazon exclusive and also a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which is annoying. The exclusives are really annoying, but it wasn't too hard to get on Hasbro Pulse, and Lord willing, they'll be available on Amazon again if you missed it. So yeah, another exclusive, which is annoying for this line, but all in all, I'm very happy with this figure. So I hope that review has helped somewhat, and on to the next one. Oh, and here's one more thing. For those of you who are vintage G.I. Joe fans, you can actually put the helmet on Duke, which it fits okay. I mean, it's, you know, it's not going to fall off. It's a little loose, but it's not going to fall off. So if you want to recreate that vintage 80s G.I. Joe Duke look, you can do that. Me, I prefer Duke without a helmet, so I won't be doing that, but I just thought I'd mention it because that's a cool little extra. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the review, and as I said, on to the next one. Take care for now.